YouTube, it's your boy Mike T's back at you with another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing how did my garments uphold throughout a year of washing. What type of vinyls was I using? Was it just one? Was it several? We'll find all that out and more after the end. So before we get into the wash test and the different vinyls that I've come to love and come to hate, we're going to talk about the very first shirt I did. I get this question so many times. You wouldn't believe it. So maybe if I show it in a video, they can see how it lasted and, you know, where I came from. So the shirt that I actually have on is a shirt that I made for myself. It's a layered shirt, and it was my first time layering, so I really didn't have no idea what I was doing. I didn't know where the cut lines or the offset lines were supposed to go, and nothing really lined up. Also, I had the logo gridded, but I did not put it to use, as you can see on my shirt. So from here to here is okay, but where this is at, it's definitely not supposed to be across the belly line. I visioned it a little bit lower, but then again, when I look at the design, I just really didn't like it. So throughout my t-shirt career so far, when I was trying to figure out exactly what it was that I was going to be customizing and how to brand, I started to do like series. So the first series that I had done, I believe, was just the grizzly bear itself. And I had put like different color eyes in the grizzly bear logo and different outlines to try to make it look a little bit better. The very first series, the name of it was G-Fit Relax, which it did okay. There was a lot of trial and error. I didn't have a lot of plans, and from night to night, I really just tried to make the best of it. But this was from the Top Ramen series, and I believe this was series 4 or 5. If you have my Facebook, or if you're connected to my Facebook, you can go through and see when I dropped this originally. It had to have been like February 2019, somewhere around that time. But the glitter, it upheld. That glitter that I used was a rainbow glitter, and that was Caesar. The white was the white Caesar Easy Weed. And yeah, it upheld pretty well. Actually, the shirt looks way worse than the vinyl. The shirt looked like it had been through war. So yeah, that was like my very first series that I dropped out and actually made profit from. Now, some of the series that I dropped, it was just pure instinct. I had an idea. I went to the computer. I jumped to a design. Then I threw it on a shirt and didn't go nowhere. Pretty much was a waste of material. So this was the actual Relax series. So there was a Relax, there was a Top Ramen, there was Legends, there was Gangsters, the movies, which was classic movies like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. And the 7th one was actually G-Fit Kids, Grizzly Fit Kids. But here is a year ago to the day this was done, and this was in the Relax series. This is also Caesar Easy Weed, the black onto the white. And the mixed pattern was something that I had got from either Amazon or Walmart, but it was an off-brand. It wasn't a name brand. It was just something that I could get that was affordable for me at the time. It wasn't R-Key, but it was another one that has a lot of colors where you can get damn near 20 yards for $4. G-Fit Grit Kids series, the Grizzly series, and I called it Grizzly Cubs. I wanted to appeal to the children's side of the clothing industry as much as possible, being that, one, I have a lot of children, and two, it's a lot easier to move in volume children's shirts than it is adults, at least for me in my experience in the business. So on this one particular shirt, there's a couple different vinyls. So this right here, this Vegas Gold, that's for the Grizzly, and right here, that's Caesar. The white right here in Fit Kids and behind the actual Grizzly, that's also Caesar. The white lines, everything that's white and gold was Caesar. Now this dark gray right here was Archie. And that's a vinyl that you can get off of Amazon. I don't have too many bad things to say about it. After a year's worth of washing and no cracks, it looks pretty good to me. So, hey, if you can get it for a deal and it turns out to be something that's reliable and lasts a year from now, you might want to stick with it. The Galaxy, however, that was a sample from another vinyl company. And I'm not too sure as to where it came from, but I know it was an off-brand on Amazon. So essentially, I went through several different types of vinyl to get to the vinyl that I like or that I use on a normal basis. And it was trial and error, like I said. A lot of times, you would wash clothes, or I would wash clothes, and pick up the garment, and the actual vinyl will be in the bottom of the washing machine. That's a no-no, especially if you're putting your name behind it. So you want to go through the trial and error stage before you actually promote and stand up upon that product. So as you just seen, the back of the shirt is peeling pretty bad. Now the front of this Nike shirt, and by the way, I made the shirt for myself. It wasn't to be sold, it wasn't to make a profit off of. I just was simply excited to have a cutter and a press and a design software to do something. The back of the shirt, however, I had used some of that cheap vinyl. And once again, I'm sorry for not remembering exactly the names. I mean, you guys are going to have to do trial and error. This is a learning process. And if I find out the names as I go through my old vinyl, I will definitely update them in the comment section or in the description below. But a year ago, this looked really, really nice. And now it looks like some acetone may have hit it or some VLR because it's peeling off. And this is that's an example of some cheap vinyl. I might have got it because I was just low on money, to be honest with you. And it was something I needed for another job. So I had a bunch of it and I was able to make myself a shirt. But when I say the long haul and trial and error, this is what I mean. You have to make sure that the quality that you're selling to your customer is premium, especially if you want them to be return customers for family reunions, maybe funerals, for birthdays, things that happen every year. So this shirt was actually inspired from my the series that I was telling you about, and this was the 7th series out of all the series that I named, and it was anime. So I did a drawing of Dragon Ball Z, I did a drawing of Geno One Man Punch, I did U and A. I'm not too sure on that. The younger generation would know what I'm talking about, but I have no idea. And I wanted to do a bunch of anime shirts because at the time it seemed to be very, very popular, and I was figuring out how can I make this work for me. At the same time that I had made this series, I was watching some videos from Stan Banks. And one of the things that kept drilling in my brain was niches bring riches. And I thought, anime, this is going to be gold. This is my $1 million. I'm about to make it up out of here, y'all. That's how I really felt when I was doing these shirts, or these series, so to speak. But it kind of didn't work out that way. I am blessed because I am moving up and there is growth in my business, but consistency is the key. Remember, you're going to make mistakes. It's what you do after you make those mistakes. Do you sit down, crawl, quit, say you're done with it? Or do you continue to strive to be the best that you can be? Don't ever give up on your dreams. Make sure that you go for what you're trying to get. Ultimately, make sure that it is something that you want to do for the rest of your life. It might not feel like work if you are doing it. Do a back shot. So this hoodie right here was at the end of last year, and I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be different. I hadn't gotten to sublimation yet. This is right before the sublimation curve and me seeing several thousand, sort of like several million posts on sublimation. This sweatshirt initially took me a week to make. The reason it took a week is because I was still Ubering, I was still door dashing while trying to nurture this business. And I would just come home every night and apply a different color to the sweatshirt to make it stand out. Now, the pros and cons to this sweatshirt, one big con is this was a cheap sweatshirt. This wasn't a premium sweatshirt. So that alone was defeating in itself. Coupled by the fact that I use inexpensive vinyl to expensive vinyl all on one shirt, or sweatshirt I should say. The best thing I can tell you, especially when you're brand new to this market, is go whatever you can afford. Go with whatever you can afford. You may not be able to buy the most expensive, fanciest, diamond encrusted machine there is out there, or vinyl, but at least get up and start. I heard that positive message also through Stan Banks, and that got me up and up to start. So I told you guys there was some inexpensive vinyl, which this Grizzly right here, this was the cheapest stuff. To be honest with you, it's got like a plastic feel to it. It did uphold on the actual sweatshirt for a year, so I ain't mad at that. But the actual fact that it's like thick, bulky, and it feels plasticky, I don't like that. The second one I would like to talk to you guys about is these two blues right here. These are in the medium range of inexpensive to expensive. And yeah, they upheld, but I still didn't like the shininess that this blue one gave off. And this matte was perfect. To a more supreme actual vinyl, which is this gray Grizzly right here. This was made with Caesar, I believe. And as you see, it's got like a little matte finish to it. The feel is really nice. And to the big Grizzly itself. This was that cheap black shiny vinyl you could get like 100 yards for $12. And the back was actually Caesar Easy Weed. And I pressed over it. So it was a learning curve for me. I actually did too many layers on this, and the layers behind actually came through on the sweatshirt. Hey, yo, that's dope, ain't it? That's the G-Fit Grip with me. T-Gang in the building, what up? No, I haven't had this for a year, and you guys were there when I made this shirt, or something similar to it. But I just wanted to talk about this and the difference between this and the other shirts that I showed in the previous clips. The feel of this is almost no feel. If you ever had a sublimation shirt and you rub your hands in between the two layers, you don't feel anything. That's almost the feeling that you get from this. It's very nice, it's breathable, it moves with the shirt. I haven't had much issues with cracking, but I haven't had it for a whole year either. So I can't make an honest decision or determination, or what I could say a comparison, until this time next year. But right now, this is a front runner for me, and it's from ECONOTRANSFERS, the white. The gold is also from ECONOTRANSFERS. And it's just like the feel. I can't describe it on lens, but there's a difference between the feels and the vinyls, from the cheapest to the most expensive. And it's either somewhere between soft, or you can almost not feel it at all, like it's part of the actual fabric. And then there's that plastic feel, like I got a big block of plastic on my chest and I can't breathe and my chest is suffocating. I need to take the shirt off and I'm sweating to death. It's hot and it's sticking to me and all of that. So this has been a Mike T's wash test review. Over the last year, the garments that I've pressed. If you would like to see more content like this, drop something in the comment section. I have nothing else to say, y'all. Until the next one, though, I'm out. Join Squad today on Facebook. I'm trying to figure it out for Instagram. But basically, if you want tips and tricks and knowledge for your custom apparel business, this is the place to be. Join Squad today.